There are cars in GTA that are just useless. They shouldn't even be in the game, but for some reason they are. In this video, I'm going to be showing cars that in my opinion shouldn't be in the game. Hopefully you enjoy. Oh, this is a sensitive topic. Just because everybody hates the Jester RR widebody. I don't think it's bad looking. I think it's a good looking car, but Rockstar just missed a whole load of opportunity. And I think they know it. Rockstar are not dumb. Why have they done this? Why have they made this vehicle that has no modifications? Let's use the Sentinel Classic widebody as an example. First of all, you didn't have to buy another Sentinel. You just put it in Benny's, and then it had more modifications in Benny's. But this widebody, you have to buy a separate widebody, just an RR widebody, and then it had zero modifications. They reverse engineered this whole thing. It was honestly a car that I think Rockstar were trying to annoy us, see how far they could push the limits before we start complaining. And many people didn't complain. Many people didn't go and put their feedback on their forum. I don't know what to say here. They've added a car that hardly has any performance difference, has gone back in modifications, it has zero. It can't stand like the Jester RR. I don't know why it would stand if it doesn't have anything else. You're stuck with the livery. All you can do is change colors. The Weasel Newsman in GTA that you can get off the street has more modifications. At least you can take the livery off the Weasel Newsman. I don't know why this was done, but it just has to be a troll from Rockstar. What? The Comet S2? No, not necessarily. I'm talking about the Comet S2 Cabrio here. A car which I deem useless. If you see the drop top as something that's not useless, it may not be useless to you. But let's take it back to the Comet S2. Amazing car at the top of lists for realism, for modifications. And then later on in GTA's journey comes the Comet S2 Cabrio. You think the same amount of modifications? No, less modifications. A lot less. You'd think cheaper then? No, the Comet S2 Cabrio is more expensive than the Comet S2. But hella, at least, you know, it's got the stance option that the Comet S2 has. No, the Comet S2 Cabrio does not have the stance option that the Comet S2 has. Like, that is a mockery. I know it was released in the DLC after, which was not the Tuners DLC, but the S2 Cabrio is only good for its drop top, and then it's got less things. It has a lot less features. So why is it even more money? I don't get it. It confuses me so much. That is why I deem this car useless. Only if you have Comet S2s. Crazy. The Baller ST was a strange one, just because we've had so many Ballers. So originally, which I don't count, is the Baller. That was the old square version. But then they had the Baller, which was this newer shape, which was just called the Baller, the same as the older one. Then we had the Baller LE. Okay, there's quite a few Ballers now. Then we had the LE Armored. Okay, like why are they adding this? Then we had the long wheelbase, the LWB. So the LE LWB. Then we had the Baller LE Armored long wheelbase. Like what? And then came the Baller ST. I don't know what it is that Rockstar love about the Baller, but they made a few variants. I must give it to the Baller ST though. It did have a nice sound and it did have a fair few modifications, but it's a car that's built off loads of versions of other cars that frankly, if you're driving past someone, they won't know which Baller you have. And now they've added the new Baller STD, so much more realistic version of the newer Range Rovers that it puts the older Ballers to shame. It'll be strange if they add the older Ballers into GTA 6 because now they have such more of a realistic car. That's why I deem the ST useless, really. The taxi, the only taxi that is fit for a taxi. You can get vehicles that have a taxi livery and then do the taxi mission, but for the normal taxi, you're paying around 500k. And when you spend 500k, you think there may be some modification. There's no modification. You think you may be able to store this in your garage. No, you cannot store it in your garage. So to do your taxi mission, you need to call Pegasus, drive up to the place where it's parked, get in it, and then do taxi mission. And you can't customize it and make it your own. So what is the point? You can literally just go up to the taxi base and call a taxi from there. Okay, maybe if you're in Sandy or something and you want to do taxi missions up there, it's not the most ideal. But why am I paying 500k if I have to go fetch my taxi to do taxi missions that I can't customize, and I can't customize the vehicle? What a useless vehicle. The Surfer Custom. Now, useless is a very harsh term. Like calling someone useless means they're literally good for nothing. But the Surfer 2 or the Surfer Custom, it does have a wide array of modifications that the normal Surfer didn't have. And I was quite annoyed with the fact that this vehicle is a separate vehicle and you have to buy it. And the only physical difference from a stock Surfer to a stock Surfer Custom is the fact that it has open windows at the front is very, very annoying. You have to go and buy this vehicle. That costs 590k. Again, they made vehicles like the Turismo R and the Schwarzer, the Picador, etc. They made those vehicles just more upgradable. They just automatically had more upgrades in LSC, and they could have done that with the Surfer. But no, you had to buy another one for 600k, and then you get these extra modifications. Again, it's not useless, but it's frustrating knowing that this hardly has any performance differences. It's still the same bus. They should have at least made it a HSW upgradable vehicle. That would have been funny. The Tundra Panthea, or Panther, a vehicle that doesn't look like it should cost 2.17 million, nearly 2.2 million. But then you start thinking to yourself, okay, yeah, it's gonna have amazing handling. It's based off the Alpine A110. It's going to be good round corners. It's obviously going to be good. It costs 2.1 million. There needs to be some use case to this vehicle. I don't know. This thing is a bad vehicle round track. I can't remember the exact figures, but it was like 40th round track. Like, that's not acceptable. A vehicle in real life, which is basically a track car for the road, performs like that. What? 2.2 million? This car is a joke. The Ruiner 2000. I remember when this thing released, it was so shocking. 3.75 million non-trade price for this thing. It better be amazing. And although this thing looks great, the Knight Rider car, if you're a fan, you have to buy this vehicle. But otherwise, this little jump and parachute is completely useless. It hardly even jump. The parachute just helps it fall. It's cool to see Rockstar can make that happen, but why do I need this? You've got vehicles that can do all this and way more. The Apocalypse vehicles, like some Armani Tech vehicles, and then this thing just renders so useless. Again, unless you love your kit car, then it's not. But in every other aspect, you don't need this vehicle. It's way overpriced, and it's now deemed a car that you don't ever need. The Buffalo EBX. Now this is more of a personal one. It's not really what's in game that's the issue. It's really what it is as a whole and what it represents. A muscle car that's electric. In game, this thing can't even wheelie. All the muscle cars can wheelie, but of course, because this thing's electric, it just wasn't made for that. Rockstar didn't change anything, adapt anything, so no one can really pull off a wheelie with this thing. It's got HSW, it's really fast, but it's an unneeded car, a useless car, I'd say. There's nothing special, there's nothing amazing about it, and I think it's useless. The Chavez V6 is something I was actually excited for, another pedestrian car, but soon you start to realize why Rockstar are even adding these cars. They're adding them because they're going to be pedestrian cars in GTA 6. But like, we need more simple cars in GTA. We need more pedestrianized cars. There's too many supercars. There's too many new Ferraris. Let's go back to more pedestrianized cars. So I'm guessing this is going to be a pedestrian car in GTA 6. But why the hell does Rockstar have to charge 1.4 million for it in GTA 5? The irony is, what they're doing is doing less work now so they can put these cars in GTA 6. But then they're doubling down on it by making it expensive in GTA 5. I love the fact that it's got so many modifications on this car. Like the Honda Accord, it's not a crazy hypercar, not a crazy, but it's a car that people can relate to. People might have or know someone that has, and especially in America, most likely you're probably going to know somebody at least that has one. Or maybe you own one. But just in GTA, you've got to pay 1.4 million more than you paid for yours. Again, I keep speaking about this term useless and saying it's very harsh, but when it comes to this vehicle, and the vehicle people wanted to get, everyone wanted something that was like the Trackhawk. Rockstar just trolled everyone with this one. They added the Avenger instead of the Trackhawk. It's so funny at the same time. I was there laughing, just thinking the audacity with Rockstar. Rockstar know they can mess with every metric in GTA 5, but we will still keep playing. Everyone will still be on GTA 6. Here's another pedestrian car for GTA 6. And only if you're thinking they were going to bring a Cherokee Trackhawk, you would deem this useless. And somehow this car just messes with the camera angle too. Who the hell priced it? 1.65 million? This one is stupid. Who charges 1.65 million for a pedestrianized SUV? And the modifications you could put on it were silly. All the front bumper options were bull bars. It was like this was a safari vehicle and you couldn't do much else with it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comment section. Damn it, I should have put the Tyrant. I literally own the Tyrant just in case I make a video like this. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. See you guys in the next one.